Hello, I welcome all second year students of Government Postgraduate College Khanwa. This video lesson is about the novel Goodbye Mr. Chips, Chapter 2. In this video lesson, we will see the second chapter, the first long paragraph. In previous lecture number 7, this one is lecture number 8. In previous lesson, we studied the first few lines of chapter number 2. In this video lecture number 8, we will study the rest of the paragraph, the first long paragraph on page number 4, chapter 2. Let us read together. I hope that your books are open and we are going together. We are on the line number 4. Brookfield, as Weatherby had said, was an old foundation. While Weatherby was interviewing Mr. Chips, he had said that Brookfield is an old foundation, means that this is an old school established in reign of Elizabeth. Elizabeth had been the Queen of United Kingdom. Reign means royal rule. A country, when it is ruled by kings and queens, this type of government is called royal rule or reign. So, established in reign of Elizabeth, it means that this school was founded, this school was built in the royal rule of Queen Elizabeth as a grammar school. So the basic purpose of this school is to be a grammar school. It means the basic purpose is to improve the language skills of the community, of the students. Sometimes we have science schools, sometimes we have technical schools, but the purpose of Brookfield is to be a good grammar school. It might, with better luck, have become as famous as Harrow. In this chunk of the sentence, in this part of the sentence, Brookfield is being compared with another very famous and top school of United Kingdom, that is Harrow School. So, Harrow School, as it is said in this part of the sentence, was much more better than Brookfield. Now, Harrow is A plus category and Brookfield is B category school. It means it is already stated here that Harrow is better than Brookfield. Its luck, however, had been not so good. Brookfield's luck, the luck of Brookfield School was never so bright. The school went up and down. It means historically, sometimes the school became very famous and progressed a lot. Sometimes the school declined and could not perform well. So the school went up and down, dwindling. Dwindling means declining, going down. Dwindling almost to non-existence. Non-existence means non-being. It means that there is no existence. So the school's position, the school's performance, sometimes in the history was so bad that it almost went non-existent. There was no existence of the school at all. It almost finished. So, dwindling almost to non-existence at one time and becoming almost illustrious at another. Illustrious means famous. Now, in sometimes, historically, Brookfield performed so well, its administration and the principal and the team was so good, students performed so well that it became very famous in the community, in the society, in the country. But at some times when the administration and the school circumstances, they were not good, it declined. It was during this, it was during one of these later periods in the reign of first George. It was during one of these later periods. And what are later periods? In the previous sentence, we studied that sometimes in the historically sometimes school declined, its performance went down, sometimes it performed very well and performance has been illustrious. Now the later period is when school performed well and it was very famous. It was during one of these later periods in the reign of first George that the main structure had been rebuilt and large additions made. In the reign again, royal rule, it means the King George, first George, he has been ruling United Kingdom, the country. The school's structure was renovated and the building was extended. It means that, for example, there had been uh, three buildings before, the school was extended and another was added to it. So the building was extended, additions were made. Later, after the Napoleonic Wars and until mid-Victorian days, the school declined again. After its renovation and extension, school declined again. And they have also mentioned the specific historical period when the school declined. It was after Napoleonic War and until the mid-Victorian days, both in number and repute. The school declined as far as number of students is concerned. The number of the students became less, and also repute. Its repute also, it declined. It was no more famous. Weatherby, who came in 1840, restored its fortunes. Restored means recovered. Before Weatherby became principal, the school was not performing well. Weatherby came and he recovered its reputation, its fortunes. Fortune means position. Somewhat, but he was able to recover its reputation only a little bit, not much. But its subsequent history, subsequent coming later in future. Subsequent history, it means time after Weatherby's time. Time after 1840. The reputation, the historical reputation, the good reputation of Brookfield School was never recovered. It was not even recoverable. Its subsequent history never raised it to first rank status. It was nevertheless a good school of second rank. Several notable families supported it. It supplied fair samples of history-making men of the age. Although it was a good school of second rank, although it was not as reputed institution as was Harrow or other first rank schools, but still Brookfield's contribution to the society, to the country, it was noticeable. We will see that it produced judges, members of parliament, it means politicians, colonial administrators. Colonial means an administrator who is helpful to administer a colony. Colony is an area. Let us write it. We have a word colony. Now, colony is an area, is a country, is a piece of land which has been attacked and recovered by another country. Another country has got control on a country or a piece of land. For example, there was a time before 1947 when India or subcontinent was ruled by British government. British government had made subcontinent its colony. Subcontinent was a colony, and the people from British government who came to rule subcontinent, they were called colonial administrators. So this school produced many colonial administrators, a few peers. Peers mean noblemen, and bishops. Bishop is a religious rank in Roman Catholics. In Christian community, bishop is a religious rank. Mostly, however, it turned out, but most of the students, they would become merchants, means businessmen, manufacturers, means producers. They would build a factory, a small unit, and they would start producing different goods. And professional men, with a good sprinkling here means number, with a good number of country squires and parsons. Parsons, they are also religious leaders, and squires means landlords. It was the sort of school which, when mentioned, would sometimes make snobbish. It was the sort of school which, when mentioned, would sometimes make snobbish people. Snobbish people, proud people, confess that they rather thought they had heard of it. It was not a very famous and reputed institution of first rank, rather it was the second rank school. So the people, the rich people and snobbish people would not like to mention it in their conversation. This was the lesson. Tomorrow we will continue chapter number 2. I hope you like this lesson. Thank you very much. Have a very nice day.